Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. Today we're doing the RAPTGO Bridge hybrid IEM. I did an unboxing a few days ago. By the way, I missed y'all. I was in the Adirondacks with the family, and it was fantastic. But I missed doing videos and chatting with you guys in the comments, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be doing this today, and hopefully giving you a good review of the RAPTGO Bridge. This review is brought to you in part by David from Prime Audio Reviews, actually. Just a little plug for him. Not that he necessarily needs it, but his review of these actually sort of sealed the deal for me. And I ended up ordering them after, like, almost immediately after watching his review, because I was a little bit, there had been some, hey, there's some light. There had been some mixed reviews on the bridge, and now I'm not really sure why, honestly. I have no idea why. But anyway, he sort of inspired me to pick these up. And unfortunately, if you do want them, you're going to have to get them on AliExpress, because they're from Amazon North America. They are gone. I got them 30% off, so it was about 97 and change. The last few sets went down to 50% off, so they were like $70. Oh my god, what a steal. If you got them at that time, good on you. Good on you. Because they are worth all that and a box of chocolates. Anyway, I'll link his channel in the description, so that was thank you number one. Thank you number two is just a little love story, actually. I don't know if this has happened to you. In fact, actually I probably do know it has happened to you, because music lovers, this happens to. So, you ever have a band where you're kind of like, you like them, like you think they're pretty good, you've listened to a few songs, and you're like, yeah, these guys or these ladies are pretty good, but they never really kind of quite hit for you? Well, that happened to me with Sleep Token. I just kind of like, listened to them here and there, used them as a test track here and there, but nothing ever really just kind of hit for me until I had the bridge in these past few days. I was using the the HipDAC, actually, the HipDAC 2 for my listening off of my iPhone. Finally got that lightning port cleaned up enough where it'll actually play music consistently. So, yeah, what happened? The light bulb went on for me as far as Sleep Token goes. I know they have like a huge, really loyal following. Maybe not huge, but a substantial, very loyal following. And now I understand why. Because I didn't listen to it just one time through, but twice through. Take Me Back to Eden, which is their most recent release, and it is phenomenal. And on these, it sounded phenomenal. So, anyway, that's the end of the intro, because it was an extra long one. But thanks were important. Saying thank you is important in this world. I don't think that people do that enough. Sort of recognition, credit, all of that kind of good stuff. So I just wanted to shout out to David, and shout out to Sleep Token, because they're an amazing band. And shout out to you folks for being my loyal subscribers, my first-time viewers. Doesn't matter who you are. Thank you for watching the videos. I do really appreciate it. So, on to the build and the fit. The RAPTGO Bridge. You can see it's got a really nice faceplate. Echoes the box, actually, if you could see that, or the box echoes this. The design's very nice. It comes in 3 different colors. This purple, a forest green, and sort of a blue indigo. I would call it more of an indigo. These are a little bit more of a pinkish purple. These are more of a bluish purple. So if you can find them, and I believe they're only, again, on AliExpress at this point, you should have 3 color choices. And as far as the build goes, I would say for the price, for the, I think, 138 to 158 that they're going for, I would say the build quality is excellent. They feel very solid. They've got a little weight to them, but not too much. Finishes are pristine. They're fun to look at, course, you won't be looking at it much because you're going to have them in your ears. Filters are easily replaced. They spin right out. There are 3 different filters. The stock is black. Gold filters give you high frequency boost, and the silver ones are equilibrium. For my testing, I used the stock filters because I felt like the equilibrium tips brought too much focus to the ear gain, the 2 to 3K, and the high frequency tips definitely tilted it towards the top end and took away from the bass, which is just really, really special on these guys. Not that it's huge, it's just really well done. So yeah, filters are there. On the back, you've got dip switches. They are both in up position for me. I had them both down for a while too. Down position would be low gain and like stock treble, stock gain, right? If you push them up, it's a gain boost and it is a treble boost. So I actually like them quite a bit either way, but I ended up leaving them up. I think that was by accident, but whatever, it's okay. So I don't think it boosts the treble to the point where it's at all fatiguing. In fact, I feel like it adds kind of just the right amount to it with the black filter installed. Yeah, so fit, finish, build quality, excellent. I did notice just a little bit of uncomfortableness creeping in around 2 hours or so. Because my ears, the outer ear is smaller, the ear canals are average, like medium to large, so it was making contact with my concha a little bit, and after a little over 2 hours I did have to take them out, take a short break, maybe 10-15 minutes. I don't even think I needed that long, but I'll tell you what, the break was not for the sound, because the sound on these is spectacular. So there you go. As far as accessories go, went over these a little bit with the unbox, but you should see what comes in here. You have the tool for the dip switch, so you can switch those easily enough. The other filters are in here. This is a magnetic little situation, so you don't lose it. Even the plate that the filters are on is magnetic. I think I showed that to you also, but might as well go over it just so you know. So everything stays put right there. 2 different sets of ear tips, silicone normal bore and silicone slightly wider bore, which I did use some. And the cable I did not end up using at all because it's a 3.5 and I'm in 4.4 land, and that's kind of just where I'm at. But the cable's okay, it's just a little bit rubbery, a little bit thin. It wasn't to my taste, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So you don't necessarily need to swap that out, but I did. So two cables that I did switch back and forth with, were this is a 5N silver-plated copper cable, the Canara Celeste cable, and then the 6N oxygen-free copper cable that came on the Jazeer Clear. Definitely preference for this, more richness, just felt like there was more body to the sound and more energy. This was okay. I mean, it was fine. I used it, not quite half the time, but some of the time. But I really, really liked how the Jazeer 6N oxygen-free copper cable sounded. And even though it's not a flush 2-pin, and that is a flush 2-pin connection, I did not find any issue with them staying on. They were very solid. Never even once gave any indication that they were going to come off. So there you go. That's your preferred cable, oxygen-free copper if you've got one, or you can order one. All right, what else we got? Frequency response. How do these perform in that respect? Well, I don't want to call them neutral because I don't feel like neutral is an adequate description, because they're more than neutral, because they're highly energetic. But let's go from bottom to top. Sub bass is present but not super there. It's like it's there, but it's not an area of focus. It's got a little rumble. I noticed that on Slaughter to Prevail's Agony, that sub bass drop Those sub-bass drops towards the end of the track were noticeable, but not commanding in any way, shape, or form. That's okay. That's all right. So sub-bass, I would call it average. Mid-bass is where they really start to shine. Like the mid-bass on these is energetic, detailed, impactful, rich and satisfying, yet very fast, and fast enough where it doesn't have any bleed into the mids. Like, it's just one of the showcases of this set is that mid bass. Incredible. I think it's probably to do with the fact that it's got the 10mm and the 6mm in a coaxial configuration. Just really, it makes that bass big and fast and detailed and wonderful. I almost feel like this might be a sort of a bit of a W-shaped set, because I don't feel like the mids are recessed very much. They're pretty forward. In other words, like male vocals and female vocals and those instruments that hit that mid-range were present. Like, not super forward, but like they were there. There was no sense of anything getting lost. Male vocals were powerful, female vocals were clear, present, engaging. Melody Gardot is one of the test tracks. If You Love Me, she got just a little bit towards the heady, intoxicating side with these, but not to the point where it was like obnoxious or, you know. But you could tell, you know, they're forward. And then Anna Trebko on Dido's Lament was, oh my god, I almost started crying. I love it when that happens. Like, when you get those chills running through your body when you hear somebody who's just a master at their craft. Just wow. So yeah, they do vocals. The mids are excellent. The ear gain, again, be careful where you have the switches and which filters and which ear tips you have in. I'll go over ear tips in a minute, because that ear gain it is energetic, and it might be fatiguing to some people. I did not find it so, but I think that it's an area of caution. If you're sensitive to that region, you may need to sort of, if you end up getting them, you may need to make some adjustments to the switches, maybe leave both down, maybe use some ear tips that are slightly narrower bore, but not too narrow, because you don't want to lose the soundstage, the head stage, which they have quite a bit of. But that, yeah, so I would just be a little bit careful there, but they're not shouty, they're just energetic, and that brings them into the treble and upper treble. Upper treble, I would say, is not super airy or sparkly, but it's there, and you can boost it with the switches or with the filters. But the mid treble is detailed, resolving, sweet, just fantastic, just lovely. So, and that actually leads to my next, sort of comment on these, is that the head stage on these is just flat out amazing. It is deep, it is wide, it is high, it is immersive. You hear things coming from everywhere. The placement, like the positioning, imaging, is also spot on. Everything is where it should be. The vocals being like sort of, eye level and up a little bit. Everything else kind of coming around all the way around to the back, feeling the bass in your chest. Those higher frequency range instruments coming up above your head. They just really nailed the soundstage on these. That might be partly to do with it looks like a bit of an open back design. That's a mesh sort of, or a grate on the back, so maybe that also has something to do with it. Here's this vent right here, which definitely gives that tactile nature to the mid bass, which I forgot to mention. Really tactile, like you could really feel it. I think it's partly to do with that venting. It's just wow. Okay, so technicalities are excellent on these. They micro details, micro nuances, just everything is there. There's nothing that you're missing. I don't know, I know I get excited about sets, but these guys have me really excited. And I think part of that was to do with the fact that I, sort of discovered Sleep Token while I was listening to them. That might have had an impact. And also, I'm higher elevation, so the air's thinner, so maybe there wasn't enough oxygen getting to my brain up in the Adirondacks. Maybe that had something to do with it. Who knows? There's lots of factors. You guys know this. A lot of the time it's situational, too. Like when you go out to eat, if you have a good atmosphere, the food tastes better. If you have a crappy atmosphere, you're not enjoying yourself as much because you're distracted. Same with wine. It's very situational. If you open a bottle of champagne on your, anniversary, dating or marriage or otherwise, and you're in a great place with a great person, your best friend, and your lover, and you're having a wonderful time, that champagne might taste a little bit better than it normally would. But, hey, we're human beings. We experience, I'm just saying, the experience on these was amazing. Oh boy. As far as genres and test tracks go, I felt like these are metal monsters. I wasn't going to because I haven't yet, but except maybe the quintet, 9.5 out of 10. I listened to Immutable by Meshuggah, Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden, two times through. Both of the, actually 3 Tool albums, Fear Inoculum, 10,000 Days, and Lateralis. Also Empire Sand from Mastodon, all the way through. Oh my god. Okay, so these are a metalhead's dream. But that being said, that's not all they do. They do just rock. Highly Suspect, Royal Blood, alt rock, Radiohead, R&B and hip hop were awesome. So Rihanna, whew, these tracks, when they have that mastering and those mixing with the panning and the 3D effects, like K-pop, New Jeans and Dreamcatcher, just immersive. Like I said, you hear everything. It's all around you. It's an amazing experience. There's so much energy to this set. Jazz was good, felt very live. Jimi Hendrix, again, with a live recording, feels like you're there. They didn't have a weak point for me. They're an all-arounder set. I guess, my only hesitation, I guess, is the ear gain. And I've recommended sets before with this type of ear gain. It's just that I don't want to screw up. These are so good. I just don't want you guys to be hesitant because they've got an energetic ear gain. You can do things to compensate for that. Like I said, you could switch tips, leave the switches down, keep the black filters on. Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. For everything else that they give you, oh yeah, don't be afraid. Just jump in, both feet. You'll be happy that you did. So yeah, test tracks went well, albums went well, covered all the genres that I listen to extremely well. I don't know. As far as comps go, there's I like the Phoenix Call because it reminds me of these a little bit, except I think the Phoenix Call might be just a little bit brighter, but these have better detail and energy and impact in the mid bass. I love my Eden Golden, the Eden 2, or Eden, but as smooth and as rich sounding those are through the mids and the treble, these are almost as smooth and just as rich, just as natural. And then, of course, the quintet, which is sort of, I would say, the main competitor with these, even though it's $200 to $220. The quintet is easily as technically proficient as these, maybe even just slightly better in detail retrieval and resolution. But it's also $60 to $80 more depending on when you buy them. And the quintet is a much harder to drive set. Now, these are easy to drive. They're very sensitive. So anyway, I'm sorry. The quintet, maybe just a slight bit better. And it's hard to say because that is so subjective. But I would say these are the closest probably to the quintet in overall quality. Although the sound signature on these is definitely a little bit more bass oriented, I feel. Warm, natural, a little bit more warm, natural, not quite as clinical as the quintet. Anyway, as far as just an enjoyable set, these are amazing. As far as an all-arounder set, these are amazing. And I really wish that they were still available on Amazon North America. They might be available on Amazon where you live if you're not here. If not, they are available on AliExpress. I highly, highly, highly recommend these. I did reach out to Minami Acoustics, who are the producers of these, among others. I think they're something to do with Sennheiser as well. And they just went through a merger with U-Sound, which is another, I think, component manufacturer, because they haven't released anything recently, right? They had the RAPTGO Bridge, they had the Bridge X HBB, or I mean the RAPTGO Hook X, sorry I misspoke, the Hook X and the Hook X X HBB. They have the Leaf out there, which I'm afraid of, mostly because of the recessed 2-pin connection on the IM. I don't think I've got any cables that are going to fit. And I guess the tuning is kind of weird on those. But anyway, I did reach out, kind of, you know, I sold myself a little bit to them because I want them to send me stuff to review. But I also asked when they're going to be releasing more IMs under the RAPTGO label, because I think they've got something really special going here. And it may take some time because they're going through this merger right now, but I really hope, and if they get back to me, I will update y'all. I really hope that they are going to continue forward with RAPTGO and that they're going to continue producing IMs with this type of sound signature and this level of quality in everything, from build to frequency to everything. They really did an amazing job. With that, we are going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody. I missed y'all. I really did. I'm glad I'm back. We'll see what we're going to do next. I got an old pair of Sony headphones from a friend of mine. He wants me to put through the paces. They're about 22 years old, so that might be a fun one to do. But for now, I love y'all. Nothing but peace to you, and we'll see you.